from the general public, and we did really well on that game.
How did you price the series going forward?
We still have Toronto a decent favorite at 220. I opened at minus 190 this morning and took some Raptor support. I know there's still a lot of belief in the Toronto side. The next game, Toronto's pick 'em at Philadelphia after the 76ers open is a 1.5-point favorite. So it's a lot of people that are still supporting Toronto.
How about Blazers and Nuggets last night? Denver, coming off that 7-game series, showed up and got game 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. These teams that have been playing without any rest, that go continuously into the next round, keep that momentum going, and the ones that have had the break kind of go out of rhythm, and that's what happened again last night with Portland. And we got a lot of two-way on that game. We came out a small winner on it. There was some Portland money line support just because of how they looked last series against Oak City, but it was a real good two-way game.
What do you do with this series in that moving forward?
We bumped Denver up from $1.45 all the way up to minus 250 now.
All right, let's take a look at what's happening tonight. We get the Celtics and Bucks, and Milwaukee just get pounded at home in the first game. Celtics go wire to wire. What impact is that having on tonight's action? And we'll talk about where the series price is as well.
Well, initially we opened the Bucks as an 8-point favorite. This is the elasticity thing, go next game on the team that lost. But right away, with the large number of Milwaukee 8, we saw a lot of Boston support. We're still seeing 67% of the tickets on Boston. Although now the big money is starting to show up on Milwaukee, we have 66% of the money on Milwaukee. We are at minus 7.5 on that. So just overall, the public is generally taking the Celtics with the points. But we are getting a lot of money line parlays on Milwaukee with people not expecting them to go down 0-2.
And I imagine we know who they're playing in the other end of that money line parlay. It's probably Golden State.
Surprisingly enough, it's the Rockets.
Really?
Yes, the Warriors opened 5.5.
Wow.
They're down to 5. We have 73% of the tickets on Houston, 84% of the money on Houston, and we're high on Houston money line too. After opening 240, we're down to 220. So a lot of people thinking that the Rockets aren't going to go down 0-2 to the Warriors.
Now, Ralph sent some stuff out this morning on teams that lose but cover in game 1, and maybe you can find it because I don't have it in front of me, but I believe these teams actually don't do well in the second game. So it's kind of a zigzag angle that doesn't really exist. And in fact, if I read the numbers right, the right play in terms of theory is to actually take the team that won game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you look overall, and it's a short number in relation to what we've seen for Golden State. I mean, this is as low as we've seen them with their full lineup intact, a 5-point home favorite to the Rockets. So, I don't think anyone's getting much value betting the Houston side of this number.
Yeah, I just pulled up Ralph's email. Teams that lost game 1 are 18-36 straight up, 19-35 against the spread in game 2. Is the angle that he sent out. So that kind
of shoots the zigzag.
Definitely. Yeah, it's zigzag not. It's just not been working the last several years for sure. For me with this one, and we'll talk about this game in detail later, Golden State's got to be sitting there saying, what do we got to do to get any respect in this? Because Houston, every time Houston loses, there's an excuse. It's the officials or there's an injury. And I think that's why you're getting all of the love on the Rockets. Everybody knows that the zigzag doesn't work anymore, but they are lining up on the Houston side. I've talked to a lot of guys this morning that I respect that are on Houston.
Well, I want to know where Jeff stands in this game because I think he's got the best NBA opinion around. How do you see this one unfolding?
It's a tough one at that number for me. I mean, just like we saw last game where it was hovering around the number back and forth. I mean, I could see that here where I wouldn't get involved betting this at a 5.5 point favorite with Golden State. The only thing I did tonight was I bet Milwaukee minus 4.5 in the first half with the home team losing game 1, needing to come out with more energy in game 2.
NHL playoffs, one thrill after another. The games are absolutely sensational. Has there been any dramatic change in NHL betting volume with the Knights done for the season?
Yeah, everyone's turned their attention elsewhere. It's the games are getting minimal handle now. I mean, good for playoffs versus regular season, but nothing like we see when the Knights are involved. And even when the Knights are involved and it's not all on them, it's carrying over to the other games, whether it's parlays. But it's just average handle tonight for these two games.
Jeff, with the two games being tied at 1, are you getting any sharp action from the limited money that you are seeing coming in?
The only thing we've seen from the sharps so far is the Avalanche. We got minus 120 support for Colorado. We're up to $1.25 on that end.
Well, I hope they win because I have the Colorado side in the series, and I'd like to be in good position. Wells Fargo Championship preview. Time to talk about some golf. It's a good time right now for the PGA. A lot of excitement out there, but the main attraction, Tiger Woods, will not be in action this weekend at Quail Hollow. Nevertheless, it is a star field, and it looks like it should be a great tournament. And you do have a pretty substantial favorite in terms of the betting odds.
Yeah, McIlroy is a 6-1 favorite, the only one in single digits, followed by Ricky Fowler and Jason Day at 10, Justin Rose at 12, and everyone else goes up 20-1 or higher from there. And there's not too much depth in the field outside of maybe the top 10 guys. It really gets thinned out. I was hoping for a better field. Obviously, Tiger at the last minute decided he wasn't going to play.
Right.
He's going to wait it out for the PGA Championship. But outside of what McIlroy, maybe was too much invested into the Masters, which is not unexpected. But his form going into the Masters was the best in the world. And a lot of people expect him to rebound this week, and of course he's had a lot of success on.
And that's the thing. In looking at the breakdown of this tournament, it's Quail Hollow, and this is, of course, very familiar to the stars of the PGA because they've played. They had a major there. I think it was 2017, I believe. And my thought process is the more familiar the superstars are with a particular course, the more likely it is one of them is going to win it. So this became a really tough betting option for me, and as of now, I'm not going to play anything because I just think it's going to be one of the studs that wins it, and they don't offer much value.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the top 4 guys are really short, and everyone else, the odds really escalate rather quickly. So it's tough to find. I mean, there's a lot of needles to toss around out there. I like Kokrak and Glover in the 40-1 range, but I wouldn't heavily support them. I think they can do well, maybe more so in matchups, but I would expect the guys at the top. And, interesting thing about Wells Fargo here at Quail Hollow, this used to be a strong U.S. Open prep course, and, that's how they still do it. But now the PGA is in 2 weeks,
right,
not the U.S. Open. So the course might be, I believe they changed a little bit in the last few years with that in mind going forward.
Hey, Jeff, the NFL draft's in the books now. Have you seen any action in the futures market now that the draft is complete from anybody respected money?
Well, we made some adjustments, and we have seen some support with the Colts and the Eagles, and we lowered the Eagles from 20-1 down to 14 for the Super Bowl, the Colts from 12-10. And just this past Sunday, we got up our regular season wins, all the yes-nos for teams to make the playoffs, and games of the year throughout the whole season. So we have a ton on the betting menu, and we've seen a lot of action come in on that in the first few days of it being up.
Anything stand out to you?
Well, we've gotten some Bears support over because we're not so high on the Bears. We expect them to come back down. I mean, right now there's a lot of people that are betting the differences out in the marketplace because there were some other places that went up before us. So not too many opinion-based wagers, but just differences in the marketplace.
Okay, I can get that. And besides which, the Bears, let's face it, the Bears always get support. Even when the Bears suck, they get support out here because there's just a huge Chicago population. So with the Bears coming off a really good season, I can see why they're going to be the market is bullish on the Bears.
Yeah, and the one team, obviously, that's still getting into Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first team that we've gotten over money on their 9 wins. We put them up even money to make the playoffs with a no minus 120, and we've already flipped that around to yes minus 120. So a lot of people are definitely high on the Browns, and we're going to continue to see that type of support this year.
I was really excited by the news that Sheffield has been promoted to the Premier League Division 1. That's big. I'm shocked there hasn't been a big party around town among the Sheffield boosters. No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not joking. I mean, the EPL is huge in this city, and that's kind of big news, isn't it? Because again, I don't know this sport, but I know that name, and that's a name that they've got quite a history. So for them to be, and I love what they do in the EPL with promoting teams that did well and demoting teams that didn't do well. I wish that there was a way to do that in the National Football League, but that is kind of big news that Sheffield United, I believe, has moved back to the top division, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's crazy the way it happened, too. I don't know if you saw that. There was the Leeds-Aston Villa game, and the coach for Leeds let Aston Villa score a goal as far as sportsmanship because one of the players got injured earlier in the game, and they didn't let him come off the field, and they went ahead and scored, so they let him come back to score, and that tie ended up getting Sheffield United promoted.
How's things going for the Derby this week? Big day on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, we just got up the future odds after the position draw this morning, so we have those available. On Friday, we're going to go ahead and get some props and matchups up, so we'll have a whole slew of wagering options on Friday available.
Did you make any adjustment to your future numbers based off of a good or bad post position?
I know Ed went through and he made some slight adjustments up and down, and I couldn't give you the specifics, but he did. He went through and cleaned it up, and it's available now.
Yeah, what's the action like? And because to me, at this point, I mean, I think I'd be more. I don't know. I would tend to just wait at this point until Saturday, and let's just see what ends up being offered as the price. But again, I'm not an expert on this, so I don't. What do you say, Marco? Is it better to go ahead now or maybe wait to get a bigger price on Saturday on some of these horses?
Well, it depends on if you're looking at, if you like a long shot that you think is flying under the radar, then you're going to wait till Saturday because it's going to get lost in the shuffle of everybody betting. And we've talked numerous times about how much dead money is going to be put into the pool, people playing numbers, playing names that really have no knowledge. I think the big value for the futures is to get it before the post positions, and really sometimes even before the last week of when there's just a couple prep races, but the majority of the prep races are done. I think that's the sweet spot to be able to jump the market. And
the best bet on the board, of course, is the big event capital in Las Vegas remains the Superbook. I mean, it's just good. Whenever there's a real big event going on, that place is packed. So recommendation, get there early on Saturday if you want a good seat for the Derby, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, that's the one thing. People show up even before I get in at 5 in the morning. So there'll be a lot of excitement, a lot of energy in the rooms for that afternoon race. And all these options are available on the mobile device. If you've got your download set, it's just so easy. Open an account, get yourself set up, and bet like a pro. Even if you're just the most recreational bettor in the world, bet like a pro. Have the stuff right online. Oh, there's no doubt. And you can download everyone's app and go ahead and shop around without having to go in books. That makes it so easy where you don't need an account to view the odds that are out there. But like I mentioned, we just got up all the NFL options that you can wager on now. Within this week, we're going to get up the night season point total for next year, which we're throwing around about 100.5 right now. So we're going to get that going. We're also going to get up the Aces season win because they start at the end of May. So a couple of local teams with some season totals going up soon. Unfortunately, no Game of Thrones futures, right? No, I caught my first episode on Sunday night. I'm a little late to the party on that one, so I didn't know what the fuss was about. Yeah, I know. Now, Christy's been in it from the start, right? Yeah, she's full go, and as she was oohing and on, I was wondering what was going on here. Well, as long as you had fun, right? That's all that matters. All right, Jeff, good stuff as always. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay, thanks, guys. Make sure to follow Jeff on Twitter at Golf Odds and his website. We'll get you. Look, if you just want to get all those golf prices as they are right now, check out golfodds.com. We'll come back. We will get you our Joe's Angle of the Day and some West Coast Major League Baseball.
Hello, friends. This is Thomas Johnson from Joe's Seafood Prime Steak and Stone Crab. Need a great idea for lunch or dinner? Your best bet is Joe's, one of the most popular dining destinations on the Strip. Joe's provides the ideal setting for private parties with accommodations for up to 150 guests. Stop by to see us at the Forum Shops at Caesars and ask for Thomas Johnson, your maitre d'. And don't forget to make a reservation if you're going in the evening. You'll need one at Joe's. It's easy enough. Just call 702-792-9222. By the way, I forgot to mention earlier, today's April 30th, so it's the last day of the M.J. Christensen Diamonds 80th anniversary sale, which took place throughout the month of April. Go to their location at Boca Park. Last chance to save spectacularly on some items. It's not like it's going to be ultra expensive tomorrow because they still have the best deals in town, but a lot of great specials today, ending today at M.J. Christensen. So head over to Boca Park and take advantage. Ralph sent out a lot today. I think he's got there's a league-wide trend and in some angles as well. So we had a lot to choose from. Well, it all's the same game. They're all pointing to the same side. So it's a little bit of overload here. And over is the key word, buddy, as our buddy Teddy would say. Arizona Yankees over 8.5. And here's the angles. First off, the angles 8-1 to the over their last 9 games. You know that pitching staff's been
getting tattooed a little bit on this road trip.
Although